In today's video, we'll cover the following topics: importing records through controller, importing photos, adding people manually to controller, editing people in controller, adding a photo manually through controller. CardExchange Controller is part of CardExchange Cloud and is where the end user can manage people, photos, production, and run reports. This is where you, as an end user, will likely spend most of your time while using the software. For the sake of this video, I have set up a new instance with no records. This is how Controller will appear after logging in with a new subscription. Note that when Controller loads, you will be presented with the People screen. If you have added records already, they will display here. To start, we'll do an import of a handful of records using a CSV file. Clicking on the People tab in the left-hand side, you'll see an Import tab drop down below. Now click on the Import tab. Next, we'll need to select our CSV file that contains the records we would like to import. You can either click in the box and select a file, or you can drag your file directly into the box. Once you have loaded the file for import, you will see a sample of the data that's contained in the file. We will need to ensure that our fields are mapped correctly to the respective fields in Controller. Click on the Configure button in the bottom right of the sample data. A new box will pop up where you can select the fields that need to be mapped. When each field is mapped, you'll see a green checkbox to the left of the field. Click on Save in the bottom right to finish and return to the import screen. After you have confirmed the field mappings, you can then upload your records by clicking on the Upload button in the bottom right corner of the sample data. You will see a spinning icon in the top right. Wait for this to stop, then it will give you a notification that the records were imported successfully. If they were not all imported, then it will give you an error message, and you can click on the error list to determine why the import failed. Now that we have some sample records imported, we can click back to the Peoples tab. You may notice that your records do not show up. If this is the case, click on the Refresh button in the top right corner. The records should then appear. You may also want to do a bulk upload of photos for these records as well. If you do, you can click on the Photos tab in the left-hand pane, and then click on Import. To do this import, you'll need to ensure that you have your files named according to a field that's on that record. For this video, I will be using JPEG images that are named with their respective person number. Just like with the People import, you can either drag and drop the files that you would like to upload, or click on the box to select multiple files to import. Once your photos have been selected, choose the property to match the photo name on. As I stated earlier, my photos are named as the person number, so I'll choose person number from this dropdown. Then, we can select all the photos or select each photo individually. Now, click on the Upload button. Once it has finished uploading, it'll give you a notification saying that the photos were imported. If you did not choose the correct field for the name of the photo, then it will give you an error. To correct this error, make sure that your photos are named according to the field in Controller that you'll be matching to. After your photos are uploaded, you can then return to the People tab. If you do not see your photos, then click on the Refresh button in the top right corner. You may also want to add people records manually. To add a single record, click on the plus button in the top right corner of the People screen. You will be presented with the form to fill in information for that record. All fields that are required will be indicated with an asterisk to the right of the field name. Fill in the information, then click on the Continue button. A new form will appear where you can fill out the address data for that record, if you so choose. You can add multiple addresses if desired by clicking on the Add Address button. Fill in information, then click on the Continue button. The next form to fill out will be the record's profile. If you will be printing cards or have a stand subscription, then you'll need to add a profile. Do note, for a stand user account to be created, you will need to fill out the person's email address in the email field. When that record is saved, it will then send a welcome email to that email address. If you have multiple profile types enabled, you can add additional profiles by clicking on the Add Profile button. Finish filling out the profile information, then click on the Save and Exit button. Once the record has been saved, you will then be presented with an overview of that person record. To return to a list of all the people records, you can click on the People tab in the left-hand pane. To edit a person, click on the record, and this will bring you to an overview of that person's record. At the top of this screen, you can switch views to see their personal details, address details, profiles, and credentials. To edit the record, under the Personal Details pane, click on the three dots in the top right corner and then click on Edit. You can change any of the data in the fields, then click on Continue to fill out each section. When you are done, click on Save and Exit. You'll then be brought back to an overview of that person's record. If you would like to manually add a photo to the record through Controller, you can do this on the overview screen. The photo for the person is in the upper left-hand side. You can either click on the camera icon to take a photo directly with the webcam connected to your PC. Alternatively, you can import a photo by clicking on the folder icon below the photo to the right. If you have photo approval turned on, then you'll have to approve the photo before the photo can be used on a badge. We will cover photo approval in the next video. Today, we discussed how to import and manually add person records. We also discussed editing these records and adding photos. Stay tuned for the next video where we will discuss photo approval.